Hello everyone. In the previous sections, we saw the different types of coverages, that are statement coverage, path coverage, condition coverage, and function coverage. These can be used to test a program. Here, these different types of coverage that can be provided to test a program. Two questions that come to mind while using these coverage are: which of the paths are independent? And the second question is there an upper bound on the number of the tests? To solve to solve these questions, we are going to use the code complexity testing. This is also called as cyclomatic complexity. Cyclomatic complexity is a metric that quantifies the complexity of a program, and thus it is used to answer the questions. The next point is a program is represented in the form of a flow graph. A flow graph consists of nodes and edges. In order to convert a standard flow chart into a flow graph, to compute cyclomatic complexity, the steps are: the first step is identify the predicates or decision points in the program. Here, predicates or decision points means Boolean conditions or conditional statements. First, we need to identify the Boolean conditions or conditional statements in the program. The second step is ensure that the predicates are simple, means your predicate or your conditional statement should not contain and, or, and looping statements. If it contains these conditional statements like and, or, any looping statements, then we need to break up these conditions. See here, the following diagram shows how to break up a condition having or into simple predicates. Similarly, if there are loop constructs, break the loop termination checks into simple predicates. All of you see this diagram. Here, the condition is if A or B. Here we are going to check whether A or B is true. If it is true, it's going to print as alpha. If it is false, it's going to print as a beta. See here, this condition, if A or B, it is a complex one, means it is a complex predicate, that is complex Boolean condition. That's why we need to break this condition. That's why you can see this in figure B, that is an equivalent set of simple predicates. First we are going to check A, that is if A is true, we are going to print as alpha. If it is false, if A is false, we are going to check B. If B is true, we are going to print as alpha. If B is false, we are going to print as a beta. Like this, we need to break up a condition. If it contains the loop constructs, then also we need to break the loop termination checks into simple predicates. This is the second step. Now we will see the third step, that is combine all sequential nodes into a single node. The reasoning here is that these statements all get executed once started. See here, if there are multiple sequential statements, then we need to combine those statements into a single node. Next, fourth step is when a set of sequential statements are followed by a simple predicate, combine all the sequential statements and the predicate check into one node and have two edges arising from this one node. Such nodes with two edges arising from them are called as predicate nodes. See here, when there are set of sequential statements followed by a predicate, means if it is following a condition, then we need to combine all these sequential statements into a single node, and it will arise two edges from that single node that are called as predicate nodes. Next, the fifth step is make sure that all the edges terminate at some node. Add a node to represent all the sets of sequential statements at the end of the program. Your edges should terminate at one node, and that node should be the end of the program. See here, to calculate the cyclomatic complexity, there is a formula, that is cyclomatic complexity is equals to number of predicate nodes plus 1, that is P plus 1. Or you can use the other formula, that is cyclomatic complexity is equals to E minus N plus 2. Here E is the total number of edges in your program and N is the total number of edges in your program or in the flow graph. This is the formula to calculate the cyclomatic complexity. See, I will repeat once again. Cyclomatic equals to number of predicate nodes, that is P plus 1, or you can use cyclomatic complexity is equals to E minus N plus 2, that is total number of edges minus total number of nodes plus 2. These are the two formulas we are going to use to calculate the cyclomatic complexity. In this slide, we can see that how to convert a flow chart into a flow graph. See here in the previous slide, we have studied the steps to convert standard flow chart into a flow graph. These steps now we are going to apply to the flow chart to convert a flow graph. See here, the first diagram shows the conventional flow chart and the second diagram shows the flow chart, sorry, flow diagram. Second diagram shows the flow diagram. The first diagram is conventional flow chart and the second diagram is a flow diagram for calculating cyclomatic complexity. See here in the first diagram, the rectangle boxes. Here the rectangle boxes are the sequential statements, only the rectangle boxes, and the next is conditional statement, that is shown in the orange color, that is in the form of rhombus, that is a decision point. It is going to arise another two nodes, that is blue and the yellow. These are also the statements, and after that we are going to check one more condition here, that we are going to represent in the form of green color. And next again one statement, it is in the form of pink color, and the last one is end of the node. See here, we are converting this flow chart into the flow diagram. Whatever the orange color are represented, those are combined into a single node and we are representing it in a orange. And next here the orange color contains the predicate node, that is conditional statement, that we are going to represent in the flow chart as a in the form of a rhombus, that we are dividing that from the conditional statement another two test statements are arising, one is true and another is false, into two parts, that is in one is blue and another is yellow. Next we are going to check here one more condition, that is represented in the form of green, and lastly these two statements are combining into a single one. I will repeat one more time, these three are combined into one node, that is orange color one. Again this will arise the two nodes, one is a blue node and another is a yellow color node, and the next one is the green color conditions. Again we are going to use that one, that is another node. If it is true, it will come to the end of the program. If it is false, again we are going to check the condition. Like this we are going to convert the flow chart into the flow diagram. The next point is how to calculate the cyclomatic complexity of a program or of a flow diagram. See here, as I told previously, we are going to represent a flow diagram or flow graph in the form of nodes and edges. Nodes are represented with the help of N, that is circles are used to represent nodes and the arrow is used to represent the edges. Circles are used to represent the nodes and arrows the edges. See here, within this diagram, this is a hypothetical program with no decision node. Means here we are not going to include any predicate or any decision points. It is a simple program which contains only two nodes and one edges. Two circles means two nodes and one arrow means one edge. See here, the number of independent paths in a program is one. Here independent path means the arrow where it's going to end means if it is going to end at the point, means that is the independent path. The number of independent paths are 1. The number of nodes means the number of circles in the program are 2. And next, number of edges, arrow is 1, that's why E is equals to 1. The number of predicate nodes, here we are not going to include any conditional statement, that's why number of predicate node is 0. Calculate the cyclomatic complexity. There are two formulas to calculate the cyclomatic complexity. The first formula is cyclomatic complexity is equals to E minus n plus 2. Here E means edges, edge is 1 minus n means node 2 plus 2. 1 minus 2 plus 2 is 1. Or you can use other formula, the number of predicate nodes plus 1. That is P plus 1. Here predicate nodes are 0. 0 plus 1 is equals to 1. We will get the answer same by using both the formulas. Here the answer is 1 for this program. We will take another program. See here, adding one decision node. Here this is a decision node and this decision node contains two another nodes arising from that node, and another, the last node is the end node. See here what we need to calculate the cyclomatic complexity. Here number of independent paths. These two are the independent paths. That's why number of independent paths are 2. Next, number of nodes are 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. These four are the nodes. And next, number of edges. This is 1, 2, 3 and 4. These are the total number of edges in the program. 4 edges are there in the program. You can see here 4 edges are there in the program. Next, total number of predicate nodes. How many predicate nodes are there? Only one predicate nodes. Only one predicate node is there. A predicate node is a conditional statement or a Boolean condition from which it will arise to another nodes. These are the two another nodes which will arise from the predicate node or a conditional statement. Here number of predicate node is 1. The formula for calculating the cyclomatic complexity, E minus n plus 2. Here E is 4 minus n. N is 4. 4 minus 4, 0 plus 2 means 0 plus 2 is 2. The answer is 2. We can use other formula. For that also we will get the same answer, P plus 1. Here number of predicate node is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. This is how to calculate the cyclomatic complexity. Next, see here, if the cyclomatic complexity is in between 1 to 10. See here, this is the cyclomatic complexity is 2. Cyclomatic complexity is 2. Means if it is in between 1 to 10, means the code is well written, the testability is high, and cost or effort to maintain the program is also low. And if the 20 means if this complexity is in between 10 to 20, the program is moderately complex and testability is medium. If the complexity is in between 20 to 40, then the program is very complex as well as testability is low. If the code complexity is greater than 40, this is the greater than 40, then the code should not be testable 1. Here or effort, this will not be enough. That's why your code complexity should be in between 1 to 10. If it is in between 1 to 10, then it is a good written code and testability is also high. We will see the next and last point within this unit, that is challenges in white box testing. Total 2 challenges are there in the white box testing. The first one is human tendency of a developer being unable to find the defects in his or her code. And the second one is fully tested code may not correspond to realistic scenarios. We will see the first one, that is human tendency of a developer being unable to find the defects in his or her code. See here, as a developer is sometimes unable to find out the difficulties in his own code. That's why human tendency is also one challenge in white box testing. Some developers are not able to detect the defects in their own code. That is, most of us have a blind spots in detecting errors in our own products. Since white box testing involves programmers who write the code, it is quite possible that they may not be most effective in detecting defects in their own work products. And the second point is fully tested code may not correspond to realistic scenarios. Programmers generally do not have a vision of the external customers or the domain knowledge to visualize how a product will be deployed in realistic scenarios. This may mean that even after extensive testing, some of the common user scenarios may get left out and defects may come in or creep in. These are the two challenges of the white box testing. Here your first unit is completed. We will see the second unit in the next class. Thank you.